All right, we're going to call up our third participant to the stage, Alan Korenstein from Camino Brewing. Alan, and what's that? We have there's two folks.
There's two of us.
I was told one. Nathan, there's your microphone. 3 minutes.
Nobody wants to hear me talk for 6 minutes. We are Camino Brewing Company, where beer pilgrims unite. My name is Nathan Polis. I'm the co-founder and brewmaster of Camino Brewing Company. This is Alan Korenstein, co-founder and CEO of Camino Brewing Company. The Camino Brewing Company was born along a 1,900-mile bicycle journey along the pilgrimage route to Santiago de Compostela, Spain. During that journey, we came to understand, as we cycled through the towns and villages of Italy, France, and Spain, that life really is about the journey and not the destination. It's about connection. It was the type of journey that you do when you need to clear your head, your heart, and get beyond the daily grind and the limits of your ego. So we are creating a place where fellow travelers can congregate, connect, and revel in life's journey.
So right now we're raising money to build a 10-barrel tap room in the Sofa Arts District of San Jose, California, in approximately a 4,100 square foot commercial space with a large outdoor space with a 300-year-old Peruvian pepper tree and a historic building from the 1800s. We're currently contract brewing in San Jose for local accounts, including the Whole Foods Mission Creek Brewery on the Alameda, ISO Beers, and Good Karma Cafe. And we're currently planning self-distribution operations to roll out into 10 of the Whole Foods Bay Area tap rooms. Locating in San Jose was an easy choice for us. Not only does our brand tie in very well because of the historical and agricultural roots, but the Camino Real, which is also part of our namesake, runs directly through San Jose and connects all of the missions in the state of California. Now we're going to let Nathan talk about some of our beers.
So we have 4 beers currently in rotation. We have the New Brew Pale Ale, which is a California wet hopped beer. It's inspired by the Galician god of storms. We have Cierzo India Pale Lager, which is inspired by the hot north wind that blew across Spain that actually caused us to dump out one of our panniers, fill it with ice and beer for the rest of the ride. We have the James Star, which is an imperial rye based on the mythology of the pilgrimage, where a hermit by the name of Pelagius followed a star to the location of the city that ultimately became Santiago. We have a Café con Leche Stout, which is what you're drinking here today, which is based on that delicious Spanish coffee drink that got us out of bed every single morning to bike 50 more miles.
Nice work. All right, so Camino Brewing, judges, what are your initial thoughts as they stumble down the King's Highway that is the beer industry? How about Michael? Let's start with the story. And drinking a beer that, you know, a style that you actually talked about in your presentation.
Yeah, I do a lot with coffee beers, and con leche is a funny coincidence, but it's beautiful. It's indicative of third wave coffees. I think it's got a lot of bright fruit, berry notes in there that are kind of underneath there, a little bit of like blueberry, goji berry, fig things that are going on. It's really nice. In terms of the story, I was curious initially because I see San Jose on the label, and the first thing you started talking about was Spain, and it took a while for that thread to come all the way back around through the beer names, right? So that's something I think when you're talking about the brewery becomes really, like, it's a particular connection you need to make right away. Beyond that, I think it's a beautiful mark. I was kind of nerding out on some of the texture that was happening in the letters, especially comes through, I think, on the brand visual you showed. Really lovely.
Thanks.
And the word pilgrim is just a really unique word to be using. People are going to notice that right away. Even if they don't get it, I don't think I got it right away. It took a little while, but it stood out.
And you said you guys are currently contract brewing. Maybe you could clarify, you guys are looking to get some funding for an additional space?
So we've been contract brewing with independent brewing company out of Oakland, but he has so many other contracts that he's brewing for that we haven't had the opportunity to brew as much as we like. So we're looking at Hermitage in San Jose, a couple other local places. We have
Fair is another place out in Concord. It's been in the Bay Area for a while, and we're looking at about 25 barrels a month with those guys.
right.
Okay. And, Carmen, what do you think about sort of their readiness, I guess, in the marketplace? We see a lot of different brands out there that have an idea and some interesting styles that they're playing with. Are they ready to go to market with this product?
I think so. I think there's a lot of really brilliant things that are happening, specifically with the brand itself. The name is really smart, and to Michael's point, you don't get it right away, and I think that's good. That's a good place to be. It creates a little bit of exclusivity. I think that you guys are also in a really good position to grow. So you're contract brewing right now and looking at some other opportunities, and it makes a lot of sense for you to be evaluating what that looks like, a year from now and 5 years from now.
I just want to add, San Jose, another reason why we've chosen it is there's 1 million people there, and there's about 6 craft breweries there. It's totally underbrewed. Mm-hmm. Most of that has to do with the intense conditional use permit process it takes to get a cool brewery open in a walkable area. And we've actually started an alliance where we're influencing the politics there to change the city code so that craft breweries like us can take away the conditional use permit process. So we started this thing called the Downtown Craft Beer Alliance, and we've been having a lot of meetings, and we just put on an event last week with the mayor of San Jose actually spoke at it. The director of economic development was to my left, and Nathan and I were on the panel, and it's going really well. They've really glommed on to it because the city, frankly, needs an identity. It's sort of a very rich place, but in some ways it's still very poor.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in that area in San Jose, and there certainly is a lack of breweries, a lack of really good beer bars, and perhaps a very similar retailer out there to Binny's would be Bevmo. Do you see this being a product that Bevmo would want to stock, or Binny's for that matter?
Yeah, I think so. It's like Michael said, it was very interesting labeling. It's eye-catching. It's a name that kind of invites exploration. It's Camino Brewing. Okay, what are these guys all about? The thing that caught my mind is you have this plan to be in 10 Whole Foods tap rooms, but I didn't see a lot else past that. You have 25 barrels on contract. That's a lot of beer for 10 Whole Foods tap rooms if they're going to rotate taps.
We actually have a number of locations in San Jose, smaller beer bars that have put our beer on tap and have told us, anytime you guys have beer, we want it.
We have plans for our own place, though. What we really want to do is what we heard earlier. It's face, place, and our story. And we've been developing for a while now some really detailed plans for opening up a really great place. And really, that's, I think, what we want to do. We're not looking to become a national company. We're looking to have like 2 or 3 places that are Camino places where people can get together, as Nathan said, and really revel in the journey and make the connections and understand a little bit about our journey and their own journey, for that matter.
And Ben will give you the final word here as time ticks down on the clock.
I guess it's probably more just advice. Learn what you can from your contract partners, because they're obviously doing production, but have your hands in that as much as you can, so you don't lose control of little stuff, because this is your baby, and sending your baby off to daycare can be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, a couple of them have actually let me brew with them, and so it's been a great experience along the way. So.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.